Exciting news if you're a Zelda fan like I am. It looks like we may have just gotten confirmation of yet another new Zelda game being developed right now. So in our last Nintendo Direct, Nintendo showed off a Link's Awakening remake, a remake of the original Game Boy game Link's Awakening for the Nintendo Switch. And then in our last Nindies Direct, it was shown off that we are getting a kind of spin-off crossover of Crypt of the Necrodancer and Legend of Zelda called Cadence of Hyrule. And now we have confirmation that another Zelda game is in development. So this confirmation of a third new Zelda game in development right now is coming from Monolith Soft. If you don't know who Monolith Soft is, they're the people who make the Xenoblade Chronicles games. So over on Monolith Soft's website, they're actually recruiting people for a new Zelda game. They're hiring people, and they have, kind of applications and what kind of people they're looking for up on their website, talking about a new Zelda game that they're developing. Now, the website is in Japanese, and it's Monolith Soft's Japanese website, as that's where they're recruiting people to work on this new Zelda game. Makes sense. But we can translate some of what it says, and it looks like they're looking for people like planners, designers, artists, programmers, and management support to work on this new Zelda game, whatever it is. So there you go. That's confirmation of yet another third Zelda game in development right now. I'd have to guess that it's probably pretty early in development if they're still recruiting and hiring people for some pretty core jobs. So I imagine the game's probably not going to get announced or shown off anytime soon. But I'm really excited Monolith Soft is working on it, as they've done a fantastic job with like open world style stuff in the games that they've been putting out, like the Xenoblade Chronicles games. And I have to guess that this is most likely going to be our 3D, Zelda game, kind of the sequel to Breath of the Wild. I would really like just basically a Breath of the Wild 2, and I think considering how well that game did, that's pretty likely here. Now that is, of course, just me speculating on what this could be. It doesn't have to be a sequel to Breath of the Wild. It doesn't have to even be like a 3D mainline Zelda game or anything. It just basically has to be something Zelda that Monolith Soft is making. That's really all we have confirmation on. But if I had to put money on it, I'd say it's probably going to be a sequel to Breath of the Wild, or at least a game kind of in the vein of Breath of the Wild. And I would be super excited about that. I mean, I thought Breath of the Wild was an amazing game, but I always felt that it had such a good, core base for the game. Like, the core gameplay mechanics were really great, but if you took that and you kind of did, what Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask did, if you, they took Ocarina of Time and kind of made another game out of that, I think if you took Breath of the Wild and you made a new game out of those core basic mechanics and you added in, more enemy variety, maybe some more weapons that don't break down so much, something like the Master Sword, say each of the champion weapons, there's some weapons that you get or some items you get over the course of the game, and they last a bit longer. They have a cooldown instead of just all your items breaking. I think more dungeons like Hyrule Castle would be really great. Even if it's just 4 or 5 of them or something on the map. I think the Hyrule Castle in Breath of the Wild was one of the best Zelda dungeons I've ever seen. Multiple entrances into it, tons of ways to explore, lots of secrets in there. It's an amazing part of that game, and I would have loved a few more big dungeons like that. That was actually kind of my hope for what the DLC for Breath of the Wild would be. So I think if they just, took that core Breath of the Wild gameplay mechanics, Monolith Soft added their really unique overworld design that they can do, that I've seen them do in the Xenoblade Chronicles games, and then just, enemy variety, maybe a little less on the breakable weapons, a few more core key items, a few more dungeons, maybe a little bit taper back the open worldness, and maybe have a little bit, some areas kind of cut off until you get an item or something like that. I think if they kind of balance that between what Breath of the Wild did and what the more classic Zelda games, or Ocarina of Time sequel 3D Zelda games over the years have done, I think they can find a good balance with that. It could probably be my all-time favorite Zelda if they do a good job. Now, obviously, this confirmation is coming from a recruitment. It's, it's hiring people online from this website, looking for people to work on this game. So I have to say, if there's anybody out there who's into, game design or any of the things that they're looking for, and I assume most likely has to speak Japanese, yeah, feel free to, take a shot at that. I think People Shooting for the Dreams is great. There's actually this awesome story about this guy, Corey Bunnell, I think that's how you say his name. He posted this thing online about how, his dream was to work for Nintendo and stuff. And then in Breath of the Wild, in the credits, he's in the credits. He's part of the wildlife programming. So that was an awesome story. I'll post a link to both the Monolith Soft website and a story about Corey Bunnell. So if working for Nintendo and working on a Zelda game is like your, highest ambition and what you've always dreamed about, and you've been putting in, the work, maybe getting some sort of degree in something, maybe you've learned Japanese and are ready to, move over to Japan, or maybe you're already living in Japan or something. Yeah, if you're excited about something like that, then guys, now's the time. They're recruiting. So I always say, go for your dreams, go for gold. So if anybody's interested in that, yeah, now's the time. And then I'll just add, since we're on the subject of Zelda games here, I know a lot of people stopped listening to Vergaben, or Vergaben, however you pronounce it, after the last Nintendo Direct, because he said that there wasn't going to be anything Link's Awakening. He had said that he heard a while back some rumor about Link's Awakening, but then right before the Direct he said, it's not Link's Awakening. They're going to show some 2D Zelda game, not Link's Awakening, or something to that effect. And a lot of people, he obviously was wrong, because Link's Awakening was shown off in the last Nintendo Direct. And a lot of people have totally, thrown Vergaben out and said, oh, he can't be trusted, he's lying, whatever, something like that. And I just want to point out that there are now 3 Zelda games in development, so it's completely possible that he had heard about Cadence of Hyrule, or he had heard about whatever game Monolith Soft here is working on, and assumed that that was what was going to be shown off in the Direct. Now, I'm not, saying that he wasn't wrong. He was wrong, and maybe listened to the wrong person. Maybe somebody did just straight up lie to him. I have no idea. But, benefit of the doubt here, and the fact that he got so much right for Smash in the base game and everything, and he's been wrong about some other things. He said the first DLC character to be revealed would be a Square rep, and we got, an Atlas rep, we got Joker. So yeah, he can be wrong. I don't think everything he says is 100% definitely going to happen for Smash and stuff, but I also conversely don't think that Vergaben is just like making stuff up or has completely bogus sources. His sources could be completely legit. The whole thing with Link's Awakening could be a totally legit source telling him about one of these other Zelda games, and he just, thought that was what was going to get shown off if his Zelda game was going to get shown off. So it does happen, guys. Leaks are kind of not an exact science. It's always a little fuzzy and stuff, and I know people don't like it that way. I know people really don't like being told something might happen, or someone say, I heard this behind the scenes, and then have it be slightly different or off or assumed. I know, I remember the Shovel Knight amiibo, I think, got seen early, so people were saying, Shovel Knight was definitely going to be in Smash, which made sense at the time. Most of the amiibos that were out were for Super Smash Bros., so to see a Shovel Knight amiibo in development, this was like for Smash 4's DLC. But yeah, things can get kind of fuzzy, things can get assumed, things can get messy along the way, so yeah, I thought I'd throw that out here, just because I was thinking about it. We now have 3 Zelda games, so to think that the Zelda game that was going to get shown off in the last Nintendo Direct wasn't going to be Link's Awakening. You could have another source telling you what that Zelda game was, or things about that Zelda game, and yeah, there's 2 other Zelda games out there that were not anything to do with Link's Awakening, so yeah, there you go. Alright, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm super excited. I can't believe I went from having no Zelda games to look forward to now 3 Zelda games to look forward to. I assume this Monolith Soft one is probably a ways out if they're still hiring, and I am only speculating that it's like Breath of the Wild, but I'm assuming it is going to be the next probably mainline 3D Zelda game, so that's super exciting to me. What do you guys think? What would you guys like to see in another Zelda game? What do you guys think about Monolith Soft hiring, and how long it might take? What do you guys think about having 3 Zelda games in development? That's really exciting to me and kind of crazy, so yeah, if you have any comments about any of that stuff, leave it below. So once again, thank you guys for all the subscribes, all the likes. It really helps out the channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so, or like the video, or leave a comment, whatever you want. Until next time, have a good one.